If you cannot fight, you are not peaceful, you are harmless. Only when you have the capacity for violence and choose not to use it are you truly peaceful. This was an important lesson humanity learned when encountering aliens unlike any they had ever seen. The new species negotiating with the Galactic Alliance was not too different from many others. They were social creatures, flocking together and displaying the universal cooperative traits necessary for technological advancement. When the ambassadors and their entourage arrived, they introduced themselves formally as humans from a home planet called Earth, which our translators seem to interpret as the unknown land. Accompanying the ambassador were what we initially believed to be priests. They carried talismans, wore ornate garments, spoke little, and adhered to a strict hierarchy much like monks of the ancient world. This indicated that they were a thoughtful and cautious people, with the ambassador frequently consulting a high-ranked female priest referred to as a commander. Our chosen negotiation center was the Maya star, an asteroid close enough to human territory to be neither too distant for them nor for us. We hoped that once common ground was found, it could become a good neutral trade location. Our major mistake was assuming it was also distant enough from the Dren that they wouldn't be interested. The Dren are an unusual species evolved from apex predators, a scenario we deemed impossible until they first encroached on our territory. What kind of predator evolves to be social and cooperative enough to advance? It turns out some apex predators spend their downtime between hunts engaged in complex courtship rituals requiring feats of intelligence and creativity, with family groups banding together to secure the best lineage. For those of us, mostly prey survivors, the Dren presented a huge problem. Our cooperation was crucial for surviving predation. When their ships were detected, we prepared to retreat as usual, planning to regroup later in a safer location. Then the human ambassador turned to the commander and said, "I believe this is your cue." The commander replied in the most unsettling way, "I believe it is." Before we could begin our withdrawal, the human priests did something we initially mistook for a starburst escape maneuver as their small ships moved towards the Dren. We were horrified, thinking they were about to be slaughtered. The Dren, like us, were utterly unprepared for what happened next. The human ambassador hadn't traveled with priests, he had traveled with warriors. I swear I saw the most peaceful and restrained beings transform from monks into annihilators in an instant, and I was utterly shocked. In less than a human hour, the Dren were fleeing, and the commander calmly handed command back to the ambassador. But we thought you were a peaceful species, I said, fearing my diplomatic skills had been compromised by the stress. We are, the ambassador assured us. We come in peace, seeking trade, exploration, and learning. We bear no ill will to anyone who does not harm us. How can you claim to be harmless after doing that? I pointed to the wreckage still visible from the viewport. If we can, the commander said softly, we declared from the beginning that we are a peaceful species. Perhaps you misunderstood our words. We did not evolve from prey or apex predators. We come from the middle ground. We are both prey and hunter. You mistook us for harmless when in reality we can cause great harm. We simply choose to respond with peace. The realization of their true nature began to sink in, reshaping our understanding of these humans. Their duality of peace and potential for violence was a paradox we had not encountered before. The commander continued, "A peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means. Our history is filled with conflicts where we had to defend ourselves. Over time, we learned that true strength lies not in the ability to inflict harm but in the wisdom to choose peace." Their philosophy began to resonate with us. The human approach to peace through strength was a lesson that perhaps the galaxy needed. As negotiations continued, we found that their presence at the Maya star brought a new sense of security. The humans were not just allies, they were protectors who understood the cost of peace and were willing to pay it. The Galactic Alliance had gained not only a trading partner but a formidable force for stability in a universe fraught with dangers. In the following months, the humans assisted in repelling several Dren incursions, their warriors proving invaluable. Their ambassadors worked tirelessly to forge new alliances, their reputation as both diplomats and warriors spreading throughout the galaxy. It became clear that the humans' dual nature was their greatest strength. They had mastered the art of balancing compassion with power, ensuring that their actions were guided by a profound sense of justice and peace. Looking back, I realized that our initial assumptions about the humans were narrow-minded. We had underestimated them, failing to see that true peace comes from the ability to choose one's actions freely, not from an inherent incapacity for violence. The humans taught us that sometimes, to preserve peace, one must be willing to fight for it. Their example continues to inspire us as we navigate the complexities of galactic diplomacy, always remembering that the most powerful peace is that which is chosen, not enforced. As the humans integrated further into the Galactic Alliance, their influence began to shift the dynamics of interstellar politics. Their duality of peaceful intentions and formidable defensive capabilities earned them respect and admiration from many, though there were still those who viewed them with suspicion. The Dren, in particular, nursed a deep-seated animosity towards the humans, having been humiliated in their initial encounters. Despite the occasional tension, the humans' presence brought a newfound sense of stability. Trade routes became safer under the watchful eyes of human patrols, and their technological advancements were shared freely with their allies, leading to a renaissance of innovation and prosperity. Their warriors, once seen as a potential threat, became symbols of hope and protection. One notable incident that further solidified the humans' role as peacekeepers occurred on the contested planet of ZYTH. The planet, rich in rare minerals, had long been a source of conflict between various factions. When a particularly aggressive faction attempted to seize control, threatening to destabilize the region, the humans were called upon to mediate. Their approach was both diplomatic and strategic. While their ambassadors engaged in intense negotiations, their warriors discreetly ensured that any aggressive actions were swiftly neutralized. The turning point came when the human commander, the same high-ranking female priest who had first revealed their true nature, proposed a bold plan. She suggested that the rare minerals of ZYTH be shared among the factions, with the Galactic Alliance overseeing fair distribution. To enforce this, human-led security forces would be stationed on the planet, ensuring compliance and deterring any attempts at domination. The factions, wary but hopeful, agreed to the proposal. The human presence on ZYTH quickly transformed the planet into a hub of cooperation and shared prosperity. The once war-torn land flourished under the new arrangement, proving that the humans' blend of strength and diplomacy could create lasting peace. As time passed, the humans' philosophy began to influence the broader Galactic Alliance. The concept of peace through strength, of having the capacity for violence but choosing restraint, became a guiding principle for many member species. Training programs were established where human warriors taught defensive tactics and conflict resolution to other species, fostering a culture of mutual respect and cooperation. Yet the humans remained vigilant, aware that their role as peacekeepers was not without its challenges. They continued to train and prepare, knowing that the galaxy was vast and unpredictable. Their leaders often reminded them of their unique heritage of being both prey and hunter and the responsibility that came with such a legacy. In a poignant ceremony, the Galactic Alliance honored the humans for their contributions to peace and security. The human ambassador, now a revered figure, gave a speech that resonated deeply with all present. We stand here not as conquerors but as allies. Our strength lies not in our weapons but in our choices. We choose peace not because we are harmless, but because we understand the true cost of conflict. Let us move forward together, united in our diversity and strong in our shared commitment to a peaceful galaxy. The humans had indeed become a powerful new ally, not just for their ability to fight but for their unwavering dedication to the pursuit of peace. Their legacy, a blend of compassion and strength, would shape the future of the Galactic Alliance for generations to come.